Ladies and gentlemen, on today's episode, it is the return of our friend, fishing YouTuber, Alex Rudd. And in true Rudd fashion, we hit some serious topics, we hit some not so serious topics, we talk a little bit of gear, we talk some general fishing tips, some hot takes, and we play a little overrated, underrated, just like Alex used to do on his YouTube live stream. So we flip the script on him, and we get to ask him his overrated, underrated on a variety of topics. All that and more on this episode of Tackle Talk.
Hello, everybody. I'm Bill Dance, and you're listening to Tackle Talk.
This is the Tackle Talk Podcast, brought to you by the Rod Locker. Premium gear and expert advice from a staff you can trust. Now, here's your host, Andrew Hayes.
Hey, everybody. Welcome back to the Tackle Talk Podcast. Thank you all for opting to spend your Tuesday with us here, or I guess if you're listening from the future, then welcome back to August 4th, 2026. Either way, we appreciate you spending some time with us today. Before we jump into our sit down with Alex, we do have to tip our hat to the best dang tackle shop in the country, the fine folks that keep this show going every single week while simultaneously keeping you, the Tackle Talk listeners, stocked up with the best rods, reels, baits, and accessories in the game. It is the great folks over at the Rod Locker. And not only does the Rod Locker have an incredible selection of new and used fishing gear, they have killer sales that you're not going to find anywhere else. Like case in point right now over at the Rod Locker website, they have a huge selection of Daiwa Zillion rods, which these are $400 rods. They're awesome rods. I have two of them. One I bought at full price back in the day, and one I couldn't help myself, and I picked up one that was on this sale. These rods are marked down like a minimum of $150 right now. So those $400 rods are priced now anywhere from $235 to $249, which is a steal for Zillion rods. They are in stock right now at the Rod Locker and ready to ship at huge discounts. Like I'm looking at the website right now. They have a 6'8" medium jerkbait stick for $235. They have a 6'10" medium heavy chatterbait rod for $235. They have a 7'3" medium heavy fast all-purpose casting rod, $235. There are so many options over there. And the best part is, not only do you get that incredible sale, but the Tackle Talk code is stackable on top of that sale. So right now, those rods that I just listed were listed at $235. With the Tackle Talk code, which is Tackle Talk August, right now, that takes them down even further, and they're actually like $223, which again is highway robbery for a Daiwa Zillion rod. So $223 with code Tackle Talk August right now. You can get that deal over at the Rod Locker. So all you got to do, go to www.rodlocker.com, click the banner at the top of the homepage that has the Daiwa Zillions on it, and add code Tackle Talk August at checkout, and boom, insane savings on a sweet Daiwa Zillion rod. In stock, ready to ship, rodlocker.com, code Tackle Talk August. All right, everybody, we are wasting no time here today. We have a really fun sit down with our friend Alex Rudd, who I'm sure many of you are very familiar with if you watch YouTube fishing, but I've been buddies with Alex for probably the better part of 7 or 8 years now. A great guy, a fun conversation as always. He's been on this show before. I've been on Alex's show before, but this will be fun because you're going to hear in this episode, it's been way too long since Alex has been on Tackle Talk. And if you don't know who Alex is, go check him out over at Alex Rudd Fishing on YouTube, Instagram, Facebook, TikTok. He's everywhere. And we just have some fun with this episode. There's a really good mix of serious topics and lighthearted stuff. And toward the end, we took a concept that Alex used to do on his show back in the day, Overrated, Underrated, which I did really like. And we flipped the script on him and we asked him his thoughts on some very fun topics like waterproof tackle boxes, urchins, high dollar sunglasses, moon phases, battery choice, like so many, especially gear heavy questions in that. So we're not going to waste any time here today. We have a ton to get to. We have a good hour plus with Alex. So with that, let's jump right into our conversation and episode with Mr. Alex Rudd. All right, ladies and gentlemen, I believe for the second time in this show's history, we are joined by our good buddy, Mr. Alex Rudd. Rudd, what's going on, man? I appreciate you taking some time out of your very busy schedule these days to talk to little old us tonight.
Listen, bro, it's my absolute pleasure. I love this. Anytime I get a chance to talk fishing, I'm here. I got a lot of hot air, so it's easy for me to do this. But no, yeah, dude, I'm chilling, man. I'm just, I'm doing my thing. I'm working through some different projects that I got going on right now, trying to fish as much as I can. Looking forward to some trips I've got planned this fall. I'm ready for it to cool down a little bit. I'm tired of it being 100 degrees every single day. I don't want to wish time away. I hate that, but like, I'm ready for like hoodie, shorts, smallmouth biting buzzbaits. Is that too much to ask for? It's too much to ask for.
Just find me a place where you have that 24/7 365. Like,
yes,
create me a world where we get to just live from like, I don't know, call it September 15th to November 15th.
Yes.
Just bottle that up. Give me like high 40s to low 40s water temp the whole year and just go out and wreck them.
Yes, dude. Listen, that's why I literally chase that weather around all year long. Like, now that I know I can go to Canada and find like 70s during the day and 40s at night in August, I'm like, dude, like, I don't know, Canada just sounds really good now. You know what I mean? So yeah, that's all we do. I mean, as soon as it gets warm here, I go north. And then as soon as it gets warm in the north, I guess I just need to go a little bit further north and just keep. Next time you hear from me, you're going to be like, Rudd, where are you going? The Arctic Circle.
Yeah.
Like, it's August,
Greenland.
we're going to the Arctic Circle. We're going to Greenland. I heard there's an awesome smallmouth bite there.
Big Xander bite going on in Germany somewhere.
Yeah. Let's just send it. Like, whatever. Let's just go. Let's go.
So I think I look back the last time that you were on the show, and this is crazy to believe and think about. It was 2021 was the last time that you were on Tackle Talk. 5 years ago. So think about like, dude, how much has your life changed in the past 5 years? I don't even know. You can tell me. I think in 2021, you might have not even been full time yet. Like, you might have been still teaching at that time.
Yeah, I was. I didn't go full time until 2020. What is it now? We're in 2026. I didn't go full time until 2022. Yeah. And so, yeah, dude, it's everything's changed, right? I mean, like, a lot. There's a lot of story behind that. It's funny. Like, now that you've asked me that question, I'm going down a little bit of a rabbit hole in my head of everything that has happened. But it's kind of crazy. I mean, last time we talked, the catalyst for me going full time was my dad got diagnosed with cancer. And unfortunately he passed away, about 3 years ago now. But, it's crazy how something that awful can have such a positive impact on your life. You know what I mean? And like, now that I'm still grieving. There's a process of grief. You don't get over it. You just kind of work your way through it. You know what I mean? But like, now that I'm on this side of it, I look at everything that happened and the way that it went down. And it's like, it's just such a blessing because it gave me a brand new perspective on life of like, hey, this is way too short. And like, why not take the chance and just go and do and be a yes man. While also just like, I have no fear anymore. It's kind of crazy. I mean, like, it's just one of those things. It's like, what's the worst thing that can happen? Everything gets taken away from me. Okay, I'll just go get another job. As long as I got my wife, as long as I got my kid, as long as I got my health. Those are like the three things that I'm concerned with. Everything else is just, we'll go figure it out. We'll make more money. We'll go do something, And so, dude, I don't know. Yeah, it's crazy. Life has changed a lot. I'm a full-time content creator now. I've now been doing that since 2022. And I mean, it's just been incredible, dude. The journey has been crazy the past, just since I went full time. Like, all the opportunities I've had and everything that's just gone on it's incredible, dude.
So what you just said there, I'm not jealous of a lot of things. Like, I'm not a jealous person at all.
Yeah.
The number one thing I'm jealous of is that mindset that you just had of like, not having the fear. I'm such a risk averse person. Like, I am the play it safe guy to the bone. There's a reason that I do this show at 3 a.m. most mornings and I'm working 16 hours a day because I've been told my whole life that you hold down a good job and you do that. And like, you play it safe. And that's just how my brain is wired. And I cannot shake that. And the number one thing I'm jealous of is people that do have that side of their brain it does stink that sometimes it takes a situation that is not pleasant to flip that switch. Like, I know obviously you had that moment with your dad, but I am definitely jealous of people that can have that mindset because I'm not wired to have it. I would love to be the guy that says, yeah, dude, go for it. Go for your dreams, push everything. And it's just, there's certain people that can do it and there's certain people that can't. And it is the number one thing that when I watch like you and Bailey and like all of our buddies that have taken that leap and have gone, and I'm so proud of you guys and it's so much fun to watch and live vicariously through you all. It's the number one thing that I'm jealous of.
Yeah, dude. Well, it's kind of crazy because like, I didn't always used to be like that Well, I don't know. I've always had like two sides of my brain, right? Like the one side is the crazy part. Like there's an ADHD nut in there that will do crazy things. You know, I was that kid like when I've always fished, obviously, but we also were like really into dirt bikes. And so like, my buddy would build something and be like, I think it's like a 60-foot jump. I'm like, well, let's hit it hard and see what happens. You know what I mean? Like there's that part. But like before I went full time, man, like it really was like I was for probably 4 years building Alex Rudd Fishing and building it to the point where I was like, okay, I'm feeling safer now. It's feeling safer now. It's feeling safer now. And the only reason I took the jump when I did was because I literally, like, Dad got diagnosed with cancer, and I was like, this is stupid that I'm not doing this. You know what I mean? But that being said, if that would have never happened, dude, there's no telling where I might be. I mean, I'll be honest with you. And so, like, yeah, the mindset is different now just because my life perspective completely changed. But I do know what you're saying, dude. You gotta, I mean, you have kids, you have a wife, you have a house payment. I had all of those things. You know, I think it's very different when you get a hold of like a young kid that doesn't have anything to lose. If I'd have tried this when I was 18, 19, 20, bro, send it. You know what? I got nothing to lose. But at that point in my life, I mean, I had Bethany, I had, our baby wasn't born yet, but I had Bethany, I had a house, I had, all the stuff, all the normal, what they tell you should have, middle class white people. And I was like, I had all the crap. And so like, yeah, it was very interesting. And I was very apprehensive until the Band-Aid got ripped off. And like, it was February. I'll never forget this. It was February 19th that my dad got diagnosed with cancer. And the only reason that I know that is because February 18th, I broke my PB and I caught a 10.5 pounder. So in 2 days, I caught a 45-pound bag with Caleb Bell and broke my PB and caught a 10.5 pounder. And then the next day, I was watching the UFC. This is no joke. I'll never forget this. I was watching UFC and my mom called and my dad had gone to the hospital and said he got diagnosed with cancer. And literally, dude, at that moment, my entire psyche like went 360 degrees. And I was like, okay, my life literally just completely changed. And I was like, all right, let's send it. Like, there's no time like the present. I looked at Bethany and Bethany was like, yep, let's go. And I mean, that's the crazy thing too, is like, people don't know this. Again, peek behind the curtain here. This is fun. I love these conversations, but I love when this goes like this. This is my favorite stuff. Welcome to Tackle Talk Podcast, where we're going to talk about Alex Rudd's life. But no, like the peek behind the curtain, my wife is like she's the polar opposite to me. She is calm, cool, collected, loving, sweet, very just, subtle in everything that she does. She is Miss Planner. She has all the numbers labeled out, da-da-da-da-da-da-da. And like, it's the one time in our relationship that she didn't look at me and go, whoa, 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 whoa. Because normally I'm like building the rocket ship halfway to the moon. You know what I mean?
She wrangles you back in. She's like, hey.
Yeah, let's get some logistics. It was the one time that she looked at me and I'll never forget it. She was like, I said, I want to do this. I said, I'm quitting my teaching job next year. And she goes, okay, I believe you can do it. And I was like, hell yeah. And that's it, bro. And then the rest is history. Here we are.
So what if you're at a function now and someone says like, hey man, I work at an insurance company. What do you do? Like, what do you tell them? Do you tell them fishing YouTuber?
Yeah. Yeah. I normally lead it off with, I've got a really weird job. And they go, oh, really? I say, yeah, I make fishing videos for a living. And they're like,
aquatic sports content specialist. Yeah, I'm like,
I'm
a fishing YouTuber. Hell yeah.
It's always fun. It's just like, I make fishing videos for a living. And they're like, oh, you got like a YouTube channel? I'm like, yeah. And they're like, oh, that's wicked. Like, what's the name? And then we get to talking about it. And then it goes, down the rabbit hole from there. It's funny because like there's people from high school like that I run into. There's people just in life. I do jujitsu. And so there's always new people filtering in and out of there. And it's always the same conversation. Like, it's always really awkward. At jiu-jitsu, you get really good at like shaking someone's hand and then touching them, like getting really close. And so there's always that awkward moments like, hi, I'm Tim. Hi, I'm Alex. What do you do for a living? This is all right. Let me try to choke you out real quick. And so, yeah, I've got really good at my 3-minute elevator speech of like, this is what I do. This is how I make a living. Yeah, it's really great. You should watch my videos sometimes. Now come here. I'm going to try to break your arm real quick. It's great.
I think I heard, I don't remember where this was, but when they like ask kids now, like when they're in elementary school, like, what do you want to be when you grow up? Like the number one answer now is YouTuber. Like that's that's the new celebrity. That's the new pop star. That's the new, like nobody wants to be the fireman anymore. They want to be a YouTuber. Like that's the thing, or TikToker or something. It's cool to think that like when we were kids, that wasn't even I mean, it wasn't even thought of. I didn't even have a computer at that age. Like when, people were asking that. And now it's the only thing I have trouble with is when people are like, oh yeah, in the fishing world, what do you do? Like, I can't say podcaster. That sounds so cringy and pretentious. And like, I hate even the word podcast. I hate saying it.
You just need to be like Rogan and just be like, I'm a comedian.
They roll your eyes. They're like, oh yeah,
comedian.
everybody has a podcast. Yeah, my realtor has a podcast too. Yeah, you're like, all right, yeah, I know.
Yeah, funny. Now listen, you can say it though, bro. You got the fishing podcast, son. So you can listen, swing it a little bit. It's all right. Swing it thing.
The term, if you walk up to somebody, I'm a podcaster. People just go, ugh. It's not as cool as YouTuber. So I'm curious though. So now, since the last time we've talked, this is your job. And we've talked about this before, I think. Everybody has very different philosophies of what fishing is and what fishing means to them and how they treat fishing. And I guess the other flip side of that, of not taking the full, jump and doing it full time or something, is that I've really tried to keep fishing like a sacred thing for me, where it is just like, I don't take a GoPro. I don't take nothing. Like, it's my time out there because it's my time to decompress away from things. But when it does become your job, like, there is the double-edged sword where it's like, oh, okay, I don't have to go to an office anymore. I get to go to the lake for, 8 hours today. Oh, darn. Like, this is awesome. But be honest with me, when it becomes your full-time job, does it lose a little bit of its luster or its magic? Because even though it's fun work, it is still work, and you have to worry about things out on the water that you didn't have to before.
No, dude, I love it. I mean, I'm dead serious, bro. Like, I wish I could give you some bull crap answer, right? Because everybody's like, I get burned out. I don't. I've never been burned out. I don't know what that feels like. I love every single day when I get up. Now, there are days when the boat motor breaks down or the kayak motor breaks. I want to go punch a wall, but it's like, man, but I always try to frame this, and this is no BS, bro. It's no rah-rah BS. When something bad happens during the day, like the other day, this is no joke. I'm heading towards the lake. I get a check engine light on my truck, and I end up I actually sheared the gear shifter off in the bottom of my lower unit on my boat. So like, and then my truck ended up being a $4,500 repair. So I mean, bro, like,
tough day.
Yeah, $6,000 right there. And like, I was not happy that day. But like, I literally went, if this is the biggest problem that I have today, I'm cool, bro. Like, I'm legit. That's my legit take on it. Now, to answer the question more deeply, as far as like, yes, when you do go to the lake, right? Let's say I go to the lake. I try to go 3 to 4 days a week. We were talking about that in the green room. Is going to the lake and fishing and knowing I have to film and knowing I have to perform stressful? Or does it put stress on it, or does it make it less fun? To me, it doesn't, because that's like, I guess the best way to answer this is I have built Alex RUDD Fishing to make sure that I am never doing something that I don't enjoy.
Right.
And like, that was one of the things that I tried my absolute best. And like, when you really look at Alex RUDD Fishing, I mean, like, and I can say this from the position that I'm in, I'm not the biggest. I'm not the baddest. I don't get the most views, but damn it, I have fun. You know what I mean? Like, I want people to come with me. I want them to have fun. I want them to enjoy it. And that's what I've done. Every decision that I've made, every partnership that I've made, every person that I've ever worked with, I do it. Like, I would not do this podcast with you if I didn't enjoy it. I'm serious. I would be like, if you text me and be like, hey, bro, what do you no, I won't enjoy that.
I'm busy.
But like, I'm busy. But because I literally love and enjoy, and I know you're going to ask me cool questions like this, we're going to have a good conversation. I want to come do this. And so like, every decision I make, I frame it in that mindset of like, am I going to enjoy this? And so that's, I mean, it's just like we did the native kayak shoot up in Canada. And like, as soon as the email came across, like, I was like, oh yeah, I'm going to Canada. And of course, my wife's like, whoa, hold on a second. Let's look at the dates. Let's do this. But like, in my mind, I'm just immediately going, I've never gone to Canada before. I want to go up there. I want to go fishing. This is an opportunity I may never get again in my life. Yeah. Were there some stressful times? Was it kind of like, oh, we had to get this shot and we had to do this? But I'm sitting there with like a smile on my face because I'm like, I'm in Canada, so that's my mindset, dude. I probably drive people crazy because I'm like literally the most optimistic person on planet Earth. Like, I will drive you crazy with how optimistic I am. But like, yeah, dude, I mean, I love it, bro. I love it so much. It's hard to get down when I love it. You know what I mean?
Yeah. I guess like truck breaking down, you got your boat motors, like that's stuff that happens regardless of whether it's your job or not. Like, that's just part of going out and fishing. I think the part for me that would be tough would be like, I'm going to go out fishing and I know there are going to be things that are going to interrupt how my perfect day would go, where it would be like, I have to film an intro. I have to film an outro. I have to worry about batteries. I have to worry about audio. I have to try and tell a story. I have to, all right, I didn't catch anything. How do I turn this into a video? I have product stuff I have to shoot. Like I'm such a mutant that it's like when I get out on the water, I don't want to do anything that takes away from an extra 5 minutes of making a run or making a cast, or like there's just, again, I'm a freak. It's like I can't turn that off and be like, I would not be able to sit there on a body of water that I want to fish, turn on a camera and do a 10-minute video on 5 baits that you should, you know what I mean? Because I'm on the water. Like I just want to turn the camera off and go fish. And then I get home and I'm like, oh crap, I should have done these 8 things while I was out there and I didn't.
Yeah. Yeah. And I think that's really interesting because it's like, I think that's why I separated Alex RUDD Fishing and Bass Fishing Tips. You know what I mean? Like that way, Bass Fishing Tips is its own thing. And like literally people will comment and they're like, you need to go out on the water. I'm like, well, go check out Alex RUDD Fishing. That's my on the water day. And then like all of those things you just mentioned, they're so part of my process now. And I guess it's like, honestly, and I have to say this, right? Because it is my full-time job. It's the blessing of it being my full-time job. Where like earlier, I looked at my wife and I was like, hey, I'm going to go load all my stuff up in my truck to get ready to go tomorrow. And so I've eliminated like 12 things that I have to worry about in the morning because all my stuff's loaded and I'm ready to rock. Because literally that's part of prepping for my job. You know what I mean? And so, yeah, you get to the point with that, at least for me, I don't know about everybody. I just know for me, I have such a process that it's like, it's just second nature at this point. Like when I hook a fish, I don't have to worry about, am I getting the shot? Because I have done it so many times up to this point that all my little ducks are in, knock on wood, because tomorrow something will go drastically wrong. But all my little ducks are in as good of a row as they possibly can to be to encapsulate and capture everything I need to capture to do my job well, if that makes sense.
Yeah. It's the interesting way of looking at it where I've always done the opposite and I've tried to be so protective of. That's the reason why I do a podcast, that I don't film anything on the water. I don't do anything because if I sit down tonight and like, I have a long night of editing and I have to do pre-production and all kinds of stuff, but I can separate those two. Like I can be kind of frustrated with this process and, be like, oh my gosh, I have to spend, 2 hours in front of the laptop today. But when I go out on the water, that's not tainted. That's still my untainted time where, and also there's some other things like I don't want to show where I'm fishing and I don't want all that kind of stuff, but I like the separation there. And I think that's why it's cool. I think it's interesting for people to think about. There's more than one way to do this stuff now. Like everybody thinks the only way to do fishing content is to strap a GoPro to your chest and go fishing. It's like, well, no, actually, I would maybe argue that those days, unless you're already in, are kind of coming and going. That might be a cool question for you. Do you think if I was like a 16-year-old right now and I wanted to get into fishing and I wanted to do fishing content, do you think it's still a viable option to start a traditional bass fishing YouTube channel today from scratch to be a full-time job at some point?
Dude, it's such a loaded question because like I have seen people in 2026 go from zero to hero with chest camera footage like it's 2010. You know what I mean? So like, I don't know. I think it's exactly what you said, bro. There's so many different ways to do it now. Like so many different ways. You can do the podcast. You can do short form. You can do Instagram. You can do Facebook. You can do YouTube. You can do, TikTok. Like there's so many ways to do it because everybody's consuming in every different way that you can imagine. And like for us, like we're like dinosaurs now, bro, because we like only get on Instagram and like watch YouTube videos. Like the new wave of kids coming up are like TikTok and YouTube Shorts, and like, they use social media in a completely different way than we use it. And like, so it's really interesting. Like, dude, we saw iCast this year. Great example of the new generation of content creators that are coming up. And like, bro, you look at them and I'm like, that drives me nuts. But I'm 33, not 18, 19, 20, 21, even 23. I mean, you look at a 23-year-old, they're a decade younger than us, bro. They had a completely different life experience than we did. And so, yeah, dude, I think the answer to that question is yes. It's just, can you find your audience? And if you find your audience, you absolutely can do whatever you want to do. I mean, look at the Outdoor Boys. Like the Outdoor Boys, bro, there ain't nothing special about that content. He just went out there and did his thing. And like, you look at it and you're 60 million views, 20 million. I mean, this dude's got generational wealth. Yes, generational wealth. Absolutely. Yeah. And like, he set his kids up for life. His kid now has a channel doing the same thing. and it's nothing special. It's just one camera out there doing it. So yeah, you can absolutely do it because, and that's kind of going back to what we were talking about earlier. I don't know if we talked about it. Yeah, we did on the podcast, not just in the green room. But like, dude, the creator economy is worth like $150 billion, and it's valued to be like $300 billion in the next 3 years, and it's going to hit $500 million, almost $500 billion in the next 10. I mean, dude, there are even people right now that I know personally that are making a living making content that they'd never post themselves. They're just making UGC content for companies. And these companies are craving this UGC content.
What is UGC? I'm so old. I don't know what UGC means.
So it means user generated content. So like if you get on Instagram and you're fed an ad and some guy's on there and he's like, I picked up this product or whatever and blah, 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 used it, and you're like, this is some random human. That's because it is some random human. This is really good behind a camera, has a good talking voice, and is good at selling something. And he literally just makes content for a company, or she just makes content for a company and makes money. They never post anything themselves. Like I know people who are doing that right now in not the fishing industry, but in the fashion industry, the makeup industry, like all of these different industries, bro. Like there's so many different ways to make money online. It's insane.
The one thing that I've always tried to tell people is like, if you want to do something, I'm of the mindset that I like to do one thing and do it really, really well. Versus I think something that sometimes people have trouble with is they spread themselves too thin. Like when they want to start doing stuff online, like, well, I got to start a YouTube channel, I got to start a podcast, I got to start an Instagram, a TikTok, or whatever, of Threads, everything. And then all of a sudden they're just like, I'm not good at anything because I'm trying to just sprinkle myself everywhere. It's like, find some lane and just blinders on, run with it. Like that's the reason I don't do YouTube, is because I was like, well, I found my little thing in, audio only podcast and just stick there. It's the one thing I think I'm bad at video editing. I don't like doing video. I don't have any of that skill set. So just stay away from it. But I think there's, when you see these niches that are popping up now of like, if you're going down the biological side of things, if you're going down the gear side of things, if you're going, and there's like really cool niches within those niches. Like there's the gear side where it's very basic content. And then there's the gear side where it's like, I'm going to take apart this Corrado piece by piece and map out everything that's in it. It's like there's niches inside niches now that you can find.
Absolutely. And that's the incredible part, dude. Like there are people every single day that pops up on YouTube for me. And I'm like, who is this guy? 250,000 subscribers, getting 90,000 views a video. And he's like some dude that lives in the Pacific Northwest, and he has carved out his little audience up there, and like the fishing industry doesn't even know he exists. Like that's the weird part, is like we're both enough in the industry that the industry knows we exist, and it's like a necessary evil, right? But like, dude, there's other guys out there that are just like, they don't give two flying craps. You know what I mean? They're just doing their thing. And like, those people are my spirit animals. Like those are the people I'm like, you do you, bro. Like that's awesome. Like send it. That's awesome.
All right, everybody. We'll get back to the episode here in just a second. But first, the Tackle Talk podcast is brought to you in part by Humminbird. And today, we are shining the spotlight on Humminbird's Mega Live 2. Now, Humminbird Mega Live 2 live sonar delivers a real-time view with unmatched clarity and detail, giving you, the angler, an instant look beneath the surface to inform every cast. More information means better decision-making. It means more high-target casts, more precise casts, and that's the efficiency boost that Mega Live 2 can give you. You get instant insight into what's going on beneath the surface so you can find fish and structure. I mean, everybody always wants to talk about seeing fish on live sonar, and sure, that can be a part of it, but I love using live sonar to just get a better look at what structure, depth, and features I'm dealing with at any given time. With Mega Live 2, you can clearly see every detail so you can be more confident in how you fish every cast, any condition. And with easy mounting and all-season capability, Mega Live 2 fits into however you like to fish. For more information, you can head over to www.humminbird.com. Humminbird Mega Live 2. Next-gen clarity, next-level fun. The Tackle Talk podcast is also brought to you in part by Minn Kota. And every Minn Kota trolling motor is built to help get you to fish and keep you there so you can focus on what matters most, actually fishing. Holding a spot, navigating contour lines, fighting the wind, Minn Kota can make all of that a breeze with state-of-the-art features and tech. Minn Kota trolling motors are easy to command and deliver season after season dependability. With Minn Kota, unmatched performance, effortless control, and confidence all come standard with every single model. For more information, you can head over to www.minnkotamotors.com. That is minnkotamotors.com. Minn Kota, built to fish. So I do peruse the interwebs every once in a while, and I do keep up with everything that you do. I want to ask you about the content you've been doing as of lately, because correct me if I'm wrong, but over the past probably year or two, I feel like you have kind of come over to the dark side a little bit, and you've been more in the small, skinny water, and you have been in the rivers and creeks. And I feel like when I first met you, and it was obviously you still have the boat, you still do all that stuff, but it was a lot of like cranking on a boat, or it was doing something.
Yes.
And now I'm seeing you doing a little river ratting, a little creek ratting. So is that an accurate portrayal of where you have kind of leaned as of late? And if so, what draws you to that small water?
Yeah, dude. I mean, I've always been like a shallow water power fisherman, right? And like I've always loved running water, moving water. Like when you live in Tennessee, like if you don't know how to fish current, you just don't know how to fish. Like it's the pinnacle of everything that we do, right? But like I would say, I mean, my true love for like small water, creeks, rivers, all that started when I was a kid. I mean, like when I was a kid, I was lucky enough to live on a big piece of property. We had a creek running through it. And me and my buddy, we'd go down there, flip rocks, find crawdads, find salamanders, just dig through the creek. And like it kind of lulled away that love for that, because I just, when you think bass fishing, right? I got caught in the same trap everybody else does. Even though I've been fishing my whole entire life, I got caught in the trap of bass fishing is a bass boat. It's electronics. It's this, whatever that is, right? Whatever pro fishing tells you fishing is. And then probably like 5-6 years ago, I met John Dalton, because he's from around here, Mr. Creek Fishing Adventures. And he said, "Hey, dude, let's come fish this little river with me." So I catch some fish down here. And I'm like, all right. So I show up with like, a freaking mag draft, 8-inch swim bait, a dang on, I like big stuff. I'm here to swing the bat. And like John had always only fished it with like, a yum dinger and a whatever.
Yeah, he's like, here's a Helgermite on a Ned rig. Like, toss this around. Yeah.
Yeah. And John's idea of a good time is like a green sunfish and a 12-inch spot. You know what I mean? And like within 10 casts of throwing an 8-inch bait in this creek, I catch like a 4.5-pound spotted bass. And I'm like, oh my God, like these live here. And then from there, it just like, I went down the rabbit hole. And the reason I went down the rabbit hole is not only are the bigger bass, there's big bass there. There's opportunity to have really cool eats. They eat the fun stuff all year long. But then too, dude, like it legitimately itched or scratched that itch of like being a kid again. And like I made the post a few weeks ago, and I've made it a couple times of like, 10-year-old me would be geeked to see 33-year-old me still playing in creeks and catching fish. You know what I mean? And so like, dude, yeah, I fell in love with that side of fishing again, just because of that exact thing. I mean, it's just so much fun, bro. Like I love to adventure. I love to explore. I love to go and like, what is something new? What's up around this bend? I did a series last year and year before where I literally like pick a body of water near my house and go, I've drove past this 100 times. We're going to go put a kayak in it and fish it. And buddy, like doing that, I found a muskie hole that's 5 minutes from my house where 40-inch muskies will eat buzzbaits. And I'm like, why am I not doing this all the time? And so, yeah, dude, that's where it came from. So yes, you are correct. Like I would say that it's really funny. I had this conversation with somebody the other day. They're like, man, you're one of the best kayaking YouTubers out there. And I was like, that's really funny that you say that, because I literally just put out like 3 bass boat videos in a row. But thank you for saying that I'm a kayaking YouTuber. But it's just because it's exactly what you said. The perception is, and the reality is, I'm spending a lot more time in the plastic boat now than ever before. And I'm definitely spending a lot more time in the small plastic boat than ever before, because I just love that adventure, love to go dig through a creek, throw big baits, see what's there, and see what happens. So yeah, absolutely.
Yeah, I think the fun part about me for rivers and creeks, obviously, besides it's one of our better options around here. I mean, we don't have Chickamauga and Watts Bar and, all these places, Kentucky Lake. Like we don't have those around here. But also it's like you're battling the elements a little bit more, like trying to hold your spot, trying to get in position to make the cast. It's not a lake where you can spot lock and you can sit on that spot over and over again. You are really like more 1v2, like it's you versus nature and versus fish, not just you versus fish. And I think I really enjoy that because it keeps your wits about you. You are trying to like, all right, I'm 80% on the throttle on this motor just to hold my spot and not get washed down, stream. And if I do go, 14 degrees this way with my kayak, I'm going to be flipped and I'm SOL. So it's like you're in that, the danger is not the right word, but you do have that like sketchiness of the situation at all times that I really, really enjoy. And I think that keeps me less bored with things. I'm going to ask you a question that, depending on how you answer this, I feel like may or may not get you in trouble with some people.
I love it. Let's go.
Do you think moving water, like rivers and creeks, do you think it is easier than lakes to catch fish?
So easier is, I don't think it's easier. I think fish, if you understand how to fish moving water, yes,
they're more predictable.
They're way more predictable because I've always said this, and I'll keep saying this. River current and current in general negates so many other factors that affect fish. So like a lot of people that are on a lake, if it's high bluebird skies and there's no movement in the water and it's stagnant, bass are going to do a variety of different things. Where if they're in a river and it's high bluebird skies and there's river current, the bass is still going to be sitting behind that rock. Now, he might not bite your lure. You may have to change up your presentation a little bit, but for the most part, he's probably going to sit right in behind that rock. I mean, literally, me and Bailey had a conversation earlier. He's up on the Susky, and I didn't give him any information about the Susky. I've never fished it, so nobody go try to turn him in and get him kicked out of the tournament. I've never fished the Susky. So anyway, but we were talking about a fish that a buddy of mine caught. He caught it 4 years in a row. Once a year in the fall in the same exact spot in the river behind the same exact rock. And the way we know it's the same fish is it was tagged and he called it in every time. And like the people at the TWRA was like, this is the craziest thing we've ever seen. But yeah, I don't think easier is the right word. And the reason I say I don't think easier is the right word is because speaking of Bailey again, Bailey is a phenomenal angler. But like we've taken him to rivers and we've taken him to creeks and he just doesn't do, I don't want to say he doesn't do good, but he's not adapted to that style of fishing yet. Now, I think he could easily adapt to it and be just fine, but it's just a different skill set. I would say it's kind of like saying, is chess easier than checkers? Well, maybe, depending on who you ask. Yeah, checkers is a more simple game, but depending on who you're playing and how it goes, it could be a very complicated game. You know what I mean? Chess is just more pieces of the puzzle. So I would say like lake fishing is like chess, where there's just more moving parts, there's more rules, there's more of this, where river fishing is more like checkers. There's still rules and there's still pieces to move, but it is a simpler form of fishing. But that's what I love about it too, is like, you know as well as I do, bro, you could legitimately fish a river all year long with like 3 rods. And if you got those 3 rods, you can catch fish. And that's awesome.
Yeah. You just have to learn all of the small little nuances of the current. Like, you know that they use that current all year long. You know that they use that rock all year long. You know that that eddy is there. But we're talking like if there's a 5 to 10 degree temperature swing, if there is a flow difference of, 10% difference because you got rain last night, like those fish will use the current differently. Like they'll still be in the same general vicinity. They'll still use that same current seam or that same current line, but the way that they relate to it is totally different based on the, and it doesn't mean that they don't go a quarter mile away. They go, 30 feet away or 10 feet away or 20 feet away, but they're still relating to that general current. It's just how they use it is so different. And that's what I really, really enjoy. And you're right. You can a lot of times get them to eat whatever you want them to eat as long as you are playing the situation right. Like
exactly.
Now, you're not going to go out in the wintertime and throw ploppers around. There are certain spots that you actually can. Like it is one of the few parts we've caught fish on top water when there's snow on the ground, just because, all right, current sits up right. It's shallow enough. There is a spot where they cannot ignore something that will be 2 inches over their head. Yeah, you can get them to come up and slurp it sometimes. So
when they're in 4 foot of water and there's something 6 inches above them, dude, they're going to eat it. They're killing machines. They're going to try to kill it. Yeah, absolutely. No, that's it, dude. And that's what's crazy is like, I can think back to, fishing the Flint River. We did the Shoaly Palooza with Drew Gregory's tournament series. And like, we get there and I didn't realize the fish were spawning, but all these shoal bass are up there spawning. And so like I'm throwing a coal shad and like I'm reeling this coal shad, dude, and they're smoking it, but they're not getting it. And I'm like, what are these fish doing? And like, so the thing is it was like, I didn't have to do anything drastic. I didn't have to move 2 miles down the lake. I didn't have to switch it. I literally just went, there's a fish sitting right there. He's not going anywhere. I let him rest for 30 minutes. I come back and I throw a trick worm in there and I caught him. It's just literally that simple. It's like, I know where they're at. As long as they show themselves, it's over. Game over. It's just now I've got to exactly, what is this little nuance piece? Is it going to be a bottom lure, a mid column lure, or a top lure? And like, you figure that out, you're donezo, bro. It's easy.
You mentioned too that like you've caught the same fish, whatever, 4 years in a row off the same rock.
Yeah.
There is something about river fish too, depending on how your river sets up, how dammed it is, and how segmented it is, and everything. Those fish are less, I don't know what the word is, pelagic, is that the word? Versus like lake fish, where like lake fish obviously can kind of meander around a little bit more, where the river and creek fish have a home base. And they might have a home base, they're not in that same spot all year long, but to your point, you caught that, they caught that same fish in the fall every year. Those fish will return to the same spot every year. So if you can pattern those fish, you can literally follow around that same fish all year long, because 95% of the time it will repeat this same annual pattern over and over and over again. Same thing. We've caught the same fish 3 years apart from each other, 10 feet away from where we caught it 3 years ago, but it's because it was the exact same time of year. That fish moves to the exact same spot and then comes back.
Yep. And that's what's crazy. I had some people on my podcast, it's been a while ago, but they were from Arkansas, and they did a study, a tagged fish, and these fish were actually in a lake, and this was fascinating. I think they tagged 500 fish. And of the 500 fish that they tagged, it was like 98% of them never moved more than 100 square yards away from where they were tagged. And like, there was one set of fish that was in this shallow bay in like 2 foot of water. And in the dead of summer, the surface temperature was 98 degrees. These fish never left. And then they would get caught. They would get run 2 miles down the lake. And those fish would swim back to where they were caught at, because there's something about their home that they love. And then like, the other, like whatever, 2% of the fish that were caught, they would swim around, they would move, they would do this, they would swim out in the middle, they'd come back. But like, for the most part, what this study showed, and what they're still finding, because they're still tagging fish, they're actually going to come back on because they want to report some more findings that they found.
Is it Jeremy and Paul? Is it either of them? Jeremy Risley and Paul Port?
I think Risley's one of them, and then he had a lady with him that's doing it.
Jeremy
and
rules.
Yeah, awesome. I love that whole bunch out there. One of their guys is actually working for the TWRA now. He left Arkansas and came for the TWRA. Yeah. Anyway, that's a long story, but yeah, no, I mean, but they continue to find the same results. The only thing I will say, this is fascinating. I won't go down a rabbit hole any more than this, but this was fascinating. The only thing that made fish move was aquatic vegetation. And the reason it made them move is because at night, the aquatic vegetation stops using carbon monoxide and starts using oxygen, because their photosynthesis turns off at night when they don't have sunlight. And so there was enough aquatic vegetation in this one bay that it would suck enough oxygen out of the water that if the fish didn't swim out of there, it would literally kill them. And they were finding dead fish in there that they had tagged, because the fish, it's kind of like the frog in the boiling water scenario. The oxygen dropped so slowly that they didn't realize it was happening to them and ended up killing them. But most of the fish could sense that they would swim away. I blew my mind. I never realized that when the sun goes down, every plant, both terrestrial and aquatic, switches over and they start using oxygen more than they're using carbon monoxide or dioxide, carbon dioxide. Yeah.
I mean, we had Matt Streichel, SB Fishing. We had him on a couple years ago because and I'm going to get this story wrong. I'll have to go back and re-listen to it. But they caught a fish, giant, it was like 9-pound fish or something, weigh it in at a tournament. They take it upriver like 9 or 10 miles, weigh it in, let it go. And then like a year later, their friend catches the exact same fish off the exact same stump that they caught it on, whatever, a year or two before.
Yeah.
It found its way home 10 plus miles away upriver to the same dang stump.
Yes.
It's crazy.
Yeah. Dude,
mind blowing.
Some of these studies that they're doing with smallmouth are showing that you can run a smallmouth 20 miles away. They will swim 6 to 8 miles a day to get back to their home range. I mean, bro, could you imagine me or you just cracking off and walking 8 miles? Like, people are like, oh, I could do that. Crack off, go walk 8 miles. Go just walk 8 miles in a direction, literally go to sleep for 20 minutes and get up and start walking again. Like, these fish are doing in a 24-hour cycle, 6, 8, 10 miles at a time to get back to their home range. Here's the deal, man. The more I fish, the less I know. We have
Same.
zero clue what these fish are actually doing. None whatsoever. Like, there is no definitive statement that you could tell me about a fish other than it lives in the water and it breathes water. That's the only two things you can tell me.
I don't understand how it's like, if you talk to, Mark Sexton or any of those people, and they'll tell you about, obviously, the fish's like smell sense, and they think that's how a lot of these fish are finding their way back to certain places. Like, that's how salmon do it or whatever, like all of those species do. They can find their way a bajillion miles away from home back to the same spot that they were spawned on. I don't know if I believe that. Like, you're telling me that in a soup of smells and, textures and tastes and everything, that they're just bombarded with at all times. Like, I picture it being like, you're trying to find a certain sound, but there's 8,000 boom boxes around you at all times. How are they finding that one scent or whatever and following it in a sea of just all the other smells and scents? And I mean, if they're following that one, that means there's a billion other out there for every other salmon that's out there that they're following. My brain cannot comprehend how any of that works. You just kind of take biologists at their word and you're like, all right, well, you're smarter than me, so I guess that's how it works.
And that's the crazy part, dude, is like, I don't get it either. But I mean, like, Sexton has told me, and I've heard this several times, like all those guys have told me, and even biologists not connected with Berkeley at all, right? Because you look at Berkeley and you're like, well, they're going to say scent works, right?
Right.
But like, biologists not connected with them have told me that a bass can actually smell better underwater than a dog can smell on land. And like, there was another, the book Knowing Bass. I think you've read that, but you've got it.
I've got it back there.
You're lucky enough to have a copy. That's awesome.
Yeah. That's
like,
my retirement plan someday.
That's it. That's mine. Mine's sitting right up there. I got a signed copy. But anyway, in that book, it talks about like how a bass has a sense of smell so good that it can actually smell individual things like away from its body and then taste it. And so it'd be like us having a hamburger sitting on the counter. Not only can we taste the hamburger, but we can taste the bread, the lettuce, the tomato, the cheese, the ketchup, the mustard, the meat. And so, yeah, dude, I mean, I think we're just, I can't comprehend it either, but I think we just have to really take into consideration these things are the true apex predators of their environment. And they have existed for tens of thousands of years and just honed the skill of doing one thing really, really good, and that's killing stuff. And like, when you really think about like what is a bass, I mean, dude, it's a terrifying predator.
I think the lateral line is the coolest thing I've ever seen. Once I actually learned how it works, I think it's got to be like top 10 coolest things in Animal Kingdom. Just, you're telling me that you have this sixth sense that no, it's not you're not feeling a chatterbait 300 yards away from you. If you have used all of your other senses to realize there's a crawfish somewhere down here near this rock, and you get down within 3 feet of it, and that crawfish so much as moves an antenna, a milli whatever, then you can triangulate the position of the movement of that antenna and strike and just kill in an instant. Is got to be one of the coolest things in the planet.
I mean, because nothing terrestrial does that. You think about
crazy.
Only bass, right? Like, only bass are that cool. You know what I mean? And it's like, and dude, then the median of water is a whole nother thing that I think we, as again, terrestrial beings, like, we view everything so terrestrial. Dude, the median of water changes the entire game of how a predator has to operate. And so, like, we think of like a wolf. A wolf sees things, it smells things, it tracks things down, it kills it. You add water to that scenario, I mean, dude, a bass can feel things, see things, smell things, taste things. Like,
it's a sci-fi movie. It's like being on a different planet.
Terrifying.
It is. It's like someone created a whole nother universe with different rules that we can't comprehend, and that's what they're dealing with at all times. And the only thing we can do is try and use what we know. So it's like, oh, I kind of know what sound is like underwater because I can drop a penny in the pool and I know how far that travels and stuff. It's like, no, it's not even close.
Not even close. Yeah, it's crazy, dude. And then bass have ears, but they don't have ears like we have ears. They have internal ears that can hear, but they don't really hear because it all messes with their lateral line. And you're like, okay, this is just, again, the more I know, the less I know. You know, it's crazy.
I'm going to go back to throwing my Senko, please.
Yeah,
thank you.
Right. Yeah. No, we're all going to go throwing our urchins. Senkos are dead. Urchins is the new fad.
All right, ladies and gentlemen, we will get back to the episode here in just a second. But first, the Tackle Talk podcast is brought to you in part by Amped Outdoors. Amped Outdoors is an industry leader in lithium batteries engineered and built for all types of marine applications. It could be your graph, it could be ice fishing, it could be live sonar, your trolling motor, your kayak battery, whatever it is, Amped has a battery for you. With Amped, you get the highest quality components. You get waterproof case designs. With their larger batteries, you get Bluetooth connectivity and heated charging standard. That is a big deal on those 50 amp hour and up batteries. That has been a lifesaver for me, the Bluetooth connectivity for my kayak motor. No longer do I have to just sit there and blindly guess how much battery I have left or try to keep track of it in my mind. No more guessing. I just pull up an app and boom, it tells me the percentage that's left. It is such a godsend. You get all of that plus an industry-leading 10-year no-gimmick warranty and world-class customer support based right here in the United States in Hudson, Wisconsin. So you can head over to www.ampedoutdoors.com today to check out all of their batteries, 12 volt, 24 volt, 36 volt. They got power stations, you name it. If you need to power it, they have a battery for you over at ampedoutdoors.com, and power your passion with Amped. All right, well, let's pivot then. You used to do something that I used to enjoy a lot. You used to do your lives where you did overrated, underrated on things.
Yes.
I probably won't go.
Back.
I won't go into like, Sam Squanch and all of the aliens and all that type of stuff, but I'll keep it fishing. I have probably 7 or 8 on here that I would like to throw at you. Overrated, underrated, flip the script, the old Alex Rudd playbook here. So the first one is urchin baits, because we have to, right? It's the law right now. We have to talk about it at least for 37 seconds before we're allowed to end the episode.
That's right. I'll be honest, I actually made a video about this today, and I'm going to be posting it at some point on Instagram. I think they are highly underrated. And let me tell you why. I don't think they're going anywhere. Like, I think there's a lot of people whose perception, and they may be right. Time will tell. If I got to come back and eat this crow, that's fine. But
I'm going to clip this, by the way. So
that's fine, bro. Yeah, send it out there. I love it. There's a lot of people out there saying that these are a fad, that they're going to come, they're going to go, and it's going to disappear into, novelty, just like everything else did. But I'll be honest, man, that bait, in my experience with it up to this point, I have not seen bass react to and bite something like that since the chatterbait or the Alabama rig. I mean, dude, it is absolutely insane the way bass react to that thing and interact with it. And this is not coming from somebody who's thrown it 10 times. I'm talking, I've had these things for a while now. I actually bought the first Koika hide up Koika 2 years ago. I've got the text messages. So I've had these things and been playing with them. And see, for a long time, I was fishing them like a Cinco. Like, I would throw them out there, let them sink, and I just wasn't getting the bites. And this is a very Americanized technique now because of the jerking action. Like, the Japanese were not doing this. They were doing this like weird vibrating thing, like walking down banks and all that. Tried that, didn't work here. But then when the jerking thing came along, when you jerk it like a jerkbait, clip that, the jerking thing. When the jerking thing came along, you jerk it like a jerkbait. Like, it totally changed the game for me. And like, bro, I'm talking chocolate milk Nesquik, 4 inches of visibility to gin clear 25-foot deep water. I have had fish swim 20 feet and just smash that thing. And when they eat it, they're not just like coming up and going, oh, I think I'm going to eat that. It's literally, I'm getting the pliers out and digging it out of the back of their throat. And so, yes, there may be some novelty to it right now because they literally have never seen anything quite like that. But I just think I've never seen a bite like this unless we're talking about introduction of the Alabama rig, introduction of the chatterbait, and both of those are as viable now as they've ever been. I mean, like in my video, I literally say, I'll give you a little sneak peek into what I said. Jacob Wheeler, he's like the man in fishing right now, right? You look at his tournament wins, every single one of those tournament wins, a jackhammer still played some role in that tournament win. So that tells me if the best dude in the world right now still relies on a jackhammer or a chatterbait or a bladed jig or whatever you want to call it, then that means it's still a valuable tool. And I really believe these urchin baits are that, just because of the way bass react to it and like the way they're eating it and the way that they seem to eat it anywhere, everywhere. I've not found cold enough water to not catch them. I've not found warm enough water to not catch them. I've not found clear enough water to not catch them. I've not found dirty water enough to not catch them. I mean, it's insane. So I'm going right now, highly underrated. And again, please clip it. 4 years from now, we'll probably have to come back and eat crow, but that's where I'm at on this.
I have a theory here that we're kind of coming back to like what made living rubber special in the first place. Like there's something about when you watch living rubber underwater, that's probably the closest thing we've ever had to an urchin before. And living rubber had a like heyday where it was just like, oh my gosh, same thing. A jig with living rubber. They'd never seen anything like it before. And it's that subtle quiver, that subtle shimmy that's like, that's the characteristic of what makes a Senko weightless falling special. Like that's the characteristic that makes a lot of timeless baits a big deal, is like that quiver. And the fact that you have 18 or whatever appendages that are all doing that kind of at the same time, I think is special. But yeah, I think the living rubber is probably the closest thing. And that's what makes me a little apprehensive about it, is because living rubber had a really big time and then living rubber kind of fell off a little bit. So I'm curious to see, like, is it a year? Is it 2 years? Is it 3 years? I agree that I think it's got more staying power than the fuzzy baits that they shoved down our throat last year. But I'm curious. I want it to be good because I am one of those guys that's like everybody else. It's like, well, we'd like to see new things come out. We like to see novel ideas. You can't, out of both sides of your mouth, complain that there's not enough novel, unique, original ideas, and then when one comes around, just call every one of them stupid. So there is a line that you have to toe there a little bit. So I want them to be good. I'm just I have scar tissue from some of the other trends that we've seen over the years.
Well, and I think like, and I will pass this one up quick because it's like, but I think going back to the lateral line thing, like when you think about that bait, you pulse it, it collapses, it opens up. And what I've noticed is like, if you've got it weighted right, it pulses, collapses, opens up, rolls, and then starts shimmying. And so I just think all of that, it's like a lateral line overload. And these bass are like, oh God, I got to go see what this thing is. You know what I mean? They just go kill it. They just smoke it because it's like, there it is. I found it. That's not hard to miss. And they just eat it. So I don't know. Anyway, go on.
All right. Urchin baits, underrated by Mr. Alex Rudd. Let's go to waterproof tackle boxes.
Ooh.
They're having a moment right now.
They are having a moment. I think that they're like adequately rated. I think if you're a saltwater angler, they're underrated if you find the right one. But I think most companies out there are having a hard time of making truly waterproof tackle boxes. You know what I mean? There's a few good ones out there. I seen somebody do a test the other day and like they were testing a bunch of ones, and actually the Plano Edge boxes actually stayed pretty waterproof, which I was like, all right, cool. That's good. Yeah. Good. I've got that on my side. I can play with that. And it's like, if I go in the water, something really bad has happened. And like the last thing that I'm worried about is, are my tackle boxes waterproof? Because I'm trying to get out of the water and then just like open everything up when I get home and dry it out when I get home. You know what I mean? So like, I'm just not like super up on it. I know some people get really pissy about it. Like I've seen comment sections, man. Like I did a piece of content for Plano. And it was when the new Plano boxes came out. You know, we redid all the stowaway boxes. And like the waterproof ones came out, and man, people just berating me. And I'm like, buddy, I'm sorry that it's not up to your snuff and that you like fish saltwater 99 days, 99 days a month. Like I can't help that. But yeah, dude, I think they're adequately rated. I think it all just depends on what are you wanting out of a tackle box. For me, I just want something that's going to hold my stuff, not open up. And again, if it gets wet, I'll put a fan on it when I get home. That's my perception.
Yeah. I don't want a waterproof tackle box.
I like it.
I actually take, I promise you, I can go out to my garage right now. I have the $5 Flambeau 5007 boxes you can get at Walmart, the Tough Tainer, clear and blue ones. I drill holes in the top of my Flambeau tackle boxes so that water can escape, because I don't need to worry about them going in the water. I need to worry about when I put wet lures inside that I don't leave them there for 3 days and they rust. So I actually literally take a drill bit and drill probably 10 to 12 holes in the top container of that, because I want water to be able to evaporate and get out of there. So I actually think waterproof tackle boxes might be one of the most overrated things on planet Earth, because
I love it.
The only reason you would want it to be waterproof is if you go in. And again, one, that shouldn't be happening. And two, just take it home and open your tackle box. Like I have way more of a problem with me putting wet baits in it, and I don't want to trap water in there.
Yeah, no, that's it. It's funny. Savage Gear makes a little like pack that you can put swim baits in, and the whole out exterior of it is like mesh. And like someone asked me that, you're not worried about it being waterproof? I'm like, well, think about it, bro. The air can get through there and it dries them off. And they're like, I never thought about it that way. Yeah. And I was like, damn. I was like, you see them rocks over there on the bank? They run down in the water too. Go fish those sometimes. It's like, golly. Yeah.
Okay. Number 3, I've got high-end polarized sunglasses. Like a good pair of sunglasses.
I love this. I think depending on the brand, they can be underrated. That being said, there are very few brands that I think truly make like next tier polarized sunglasses that justify $300 price tag. I think if you're talking like Smith Optics, and I'm not sponsored by any of these companies, mind you. So like, nobody get your panties in a wad. Smith Optics, the Opti Chrome or Chroma Pop, bro, that's next level. Those, I've had several pair of Smith Optics in my life. Those are the best sunglasses I've ever used. Costa Del Mar glass sunglasses. Best sunglasses, some of the best sunglasses I ever used. Honestly, everything else that I've ever tried is about dang near the same. And I'll be honest, right now I'm running a pair of Sun Clouds, which is Smith Optics lower tier sunglass. And the thing is all they've done is just like graduate down technology to those glasses. And bro, they're phenomenal.
It's like reels nowadays. It's the same thing. Like everybody trickles down from what used to be expensive, and now it's not expensive. Same thing. I very rarely use sunglasses, but I use Flying Fisherman. They're like $35, and they do just as fine. To your point, they do just as fine as the ones that try and market as they're better, but they're really $150 or $175 until you take that crazy step up to be honest, a pair of sunglasses I'm never going to buy. So I just go with $30, $35 decent polarized. Like, I think they're Flying Fisherman. They're like $30-$40.
Yeah. And that's it, dude. I mean, I think until you step up into that next tier, like that true next $300 Costa Del Mar glass, Smith Optics, the Bahio, that's another brand that's like, apparently I've never used them, so I can't say much, but apparently is that next tier up. Until you step up into that, and if you've got a prescription, I think they're highly underrated if you have a prescription, because you're not going to be able to get a prescription unless you're in that high tier. And so like if you're an angler who has a prescription and doesn't want to wear contacts, go get you a really good pair of sunglasses, because number one, your insurance will pay for them. Maybe. I don't know how people's insurance work. But then number two, you got your really nice pair of sunglasses at that point too that are prescription. So yeah, that's my perception.
Sinking braid.
Dude, this is a horrible question for me because I'm not a forward-facing sonar nerd. If you were to ask Bailey Eibreath this question, he would come undone and tell you 90 things about why sinking braid's the greatest thing ever invented. Yeah, I mean, I think for us normies, we'll call ourselves like normal people who just like to beat the bank and not use forward-facing sonar all the time. I don't think you're ever going to notice a difference. I bought some to play. You'll notice
the difference in the price tag. That's really about it.
100%. Yeah. No, I bought a spool of something. I forgot what it was. And dude, I was like, God, I was like $45. Oh my God.
This ain't Power Pro no more. Oh man.
Yeah. I was like, I want my Berkeley X5 back off the discount rack. Come on now. But no, I've never noticed a difference with it. And if anything, I have noticed the one time I did have sinking braid, it was kind of a nuisance when I wanted to switch to something non-forward facing. Like it was really weird because like I would throw a Senko up under a bush and start to let it sink, and then the braid would sink with the Senko. And then when I went to pick up the line, I was having to like pull my line up out of the water to set the hook. And I just noticed, I was like, I'm literally missing hook sets because this line is in the water with this fish. This is meant to be 100 feet away from me. This is not meant to be 10 feet away from me. And so, I think it's overrated for normal people who just want to go do normal fishing. I think probably underrated for the forward-facing sonar guys because they're way more dialed than I am, right? Like you ask Dylan Nutt or Pake South, they're probably going to give you a completely different answer, but that's a different thing than what I am. That's a different animal than what I am.
What about coated hooks? That's something that was kind of popular over the past 2 years. It's like you get a pack of Gamakatsus and they have a nano coating on them now. Do you put any stock in that?
I mean, dude, I've seen some studies where they've talked about that stuff and how it's got like 15 to 20% better piercing power or whatever. And I mean, I have seen I love to play with terminal tackle. Like, it's one of my favorite things that I still go out and spend hundreds of dollars on terminal tackle. And like right now, my favorite wacky rig Nico urchin hook is that Ryugi Talisman Brutal.
The Talisman, yeah.
Yeah, the Talisman. It has that nano coating on it. Dude, I don't know if it's the nano coating or if it's the design of the hook or if it's all of those things combined. That's the best dang gone wacky rig Nico urchin hook that I've ever used. But again, I don't know if it's the nano coating or if it's the whole hook itself. You know what I mean? So yeah, I think there's probably something to it, especially if you're like really small treble hooks, really small Nico hooks. I mean, anything to help that hook get a good penetration, get into that fish's mouth and stay stuck. It's kind of like scent in some people's minds. I believe it absolutely 100% works. Some people believe it's a bunch of bullcrap, but wouldn't you want that added 20% more fish catchability if you can get it? Why not? Same thing with these hooks. If it truly says it does penetrate them 20% better, well, hell yeah, we'll give it a shot. But that being said, I mean, I'll take a money badger right out the pack and go and throw it. You know, my orange crankbait, never switch out the hooks. The Fusion 19s on there don't have a coating. I've never had an issue hooking fish. I've never thought I need to switch to nano coated hooks to catch fish. It's not a problem. So
yeah. The only thing that I think I've really noticed is like I'm hard on my gear and I don't take care of stuff. And I've seen less rusting issues with nano coated hooks than I have with just because, again, I'm careless. I put them in there. Yes, I try and drill my holes out and make sure that water can get out and everything. But dude, I'm so bad about just leaving stuff in piles in the cup holder in my kayak, and there's water at the bottom of it for 3 days, and they just sit in there. I've noticed that they don't tend to, start to show those rust spots quite as quickly, and I think, I don't know whether that matters or not. I mean, it means that I'm not switching out my terminal as much. I'm just picking it back up and going out and fishing it again, so it saves me money. But
I mean, buddy, I tied on a popper the other day from like 1995 with rusted hooks and caught a fish on it, and I was like, yeah, we put too much stock in this.
I caught one today after work. It's a Rico that looks like it's been ran over with a truck, and it has the rustiest hooks in the world. And I caught one after work today.
Yeah, let's go. That's awesome.
Shoal bass.
Oh, buddy, let me tell you something. All right. Highly, highly underrated. It is such a fun fish, man. Such a fun fish. I tell people when they ask me, what is a shoal bass like? I'm like, imagine a salmon and a smallmouth had a baby. That's a shoal bass. Like, they're everything that you love about a smallmouth, except for they want to live in the waterfall, not behind the waterfall and in front of the waterfall. And they got bigger mouths so they can eat bigger stuff. I mean, not that a smallmouth, dude, I have a smallmouth crank 8-inch, coal shads all the time. It's no problem for them. But I'm just saying, like, they are bigger, they're more aggressive, and this one's going to be a fun one. They don't have sexual dimorphism. So unlike smallmouth and largemouth and spotted bass, the females are bigger than the males. They're all the same size. So, like, when you show up to a shoal bass river during the spawn, bro, they're all big because, like, all the big ones show up to spawn. And so you can catch a 20-incher, and it can be a male or a female because they don't have sexual dimorphism. And so, yeah, it's super fun. Dude, they're just, such an incredible fish, dude. Like, they honestly don't make any sense. You will catch one, and you'll walk up to where you caught it, and it'll literally be 6 inches of water, and there'll be a 5-pound shoal bass sitting there. And you're like, how did that even work? But it works somehow. They're awesome, dude. Awesome creatures. You got to catch one, bro. Have you caught one?
No, it's on my bucket list. I have like 3 fish that within the next like year and a half, I want to actually just sack up and take a trip and go do. It's like shoal bass, peacock bass. Both of those like for sure are on my list. Yeah.
Well, listen, you call me and Louie, we'll go make it happen, bro. It's so much fun. We'll do it. Absolutely.
Moon phases.
So this is an interesting one. I'm gonna go that they're underrated. And let me tell you why. Because again, we don't know anything about fish. And I know one study that I read and a study that I've seen several times, that fish, a lot of big predatory, like dominant fish, are mostly active at night. They're nocturnal predators. So you can't tell me that the introduction of a light source, a full moon, doesn't affect how those fish act. Just like the angle of the sun, just like the angle of the moon, just like the tilt of the earth. I mean, you can't tell me that cosmic level events don't affect what a bass does. You just can't, because it affects everything else in nature. Like deer Deer start rutting based on length of day and temperature. Bass decide to spawn length of day and temperature. And so like it has to do something. Now, what it does exactly, I'm not totally sure, but it has to do something. And I know that after a really bright full moon on a clear night, the bass bite the next morning just is not as good. And to me, it's because I think they're nocturnal. I think that they come out at night and they feed and they satiate themselves to a point where it's harder to catch them because they don't need to eat. You got to trick them.
They were so active within the past 12 hours already.
Yes. They go back into their little zombie modes that they go into where they just sit there and they're like, all right, I'm going to digest everything that I consumed over the past 12 hours. And so, yeah, I think it's underrated in the fact that there's just no hard and fast rules in fishing for me. And so it's like, it's underrated in that fact. Like there's something to it. I don't know what exactly it is, but there's something to it.
Yeah. I think just in the most basic terms, like if it's full moon versus not full moon, if we're talking like that sort of moon phase, then yeah, I think that matters just if nothing more than a light source. Like there's a big difference between a night that has absolutely no moon and a night that has a giant moon overhead. Like we see that with walleye and sawguy a lot. Like that affects them a ton on how they bite and how they hunt because they reflect so much light off of those eyes, and they can use such little light source makes such a big difference for them that the difference between a whatever it is, a waning gibbous that has like nothing, you can see, and then a full moon, like they do bite very different. But I also think fishing for muskie for the past probably 10 years or so, the other moon phases they talk about where it's like, if it's the minor or the major of the day, and it's like those 2 or 3 hour windows, I want to call it BS so much because I just think like that fish has no idea what lunar phase we're in right now for the next hour and 40 minutes of a bluebird sky day. But I've seen it happen. I have seen us just struggle all day long. You enter that minor or the major that you're about to go into, and suddenly, you raise one or you see one on the figure eight or you catch one. You're like, oh my God, what is it a coincidence? I don't know, but I've seen it happen enough times that I start to think that coincidence is not a real thing. And I'm really curious, like, how does that fish know something is weird and mundane is like, oh yeah, from 10:30 a.m. to 11:14 a.m. we're entering a minor moon phase. It's light outside. Who cares? Like, I don't know what that means.
Yeah, and I think that's where we fall into that trap of being terrestrial humans. We're trying to give a thought process to something that doesn't have a thought process, but it does have an instinct. And there's something in that instinctual drive that's telling it, hey, right now is the time to let her rip, tater chip. I don't know what it is, but that's it. I mean, it's just, dude, again, I always go back to like deer. I got 16 and a half acres here. I watch my deer all the time. And bro, like, it's weird. Like on a major moon, whatever, like they'll get up and move around. I don't know why. I don't know how they know, but they get up and they move around. And then like when it starts to, the light starts to fade a certain way, they'll lay back down. And then when it gets dark and it's a full moon, they get up, it's like, it's the weirdest thing. You're like, how do you know that these things are happening? But I mean, like we used to have rabbits and goats was when I was a kid. My dad raised rabbits and goats for a variety of different things. But the goats, an hour before a storm would come, they would walk to the barn. And then when the storm came, they were close to the barn, they would walk into the barn. And buddy, if you didn't have radar and if you didn't know the weather was coming, you would never know the storm was coming until the storm was on top of you. But then damn goats knew. And so you would watch those goats. I knew when them goats started walking towards the barn, I go, it's about to start raining. People would be like, you're crazy. I'm like, I give about an hour to start raining. Sure enough, it started raining. The goats knew. I don't know how, but animals, man, they're weird, bro.
All right. I got one last one for you. Good lithium batteries.
Okay. Yeah. Oh man, I think underrated. And I'm going to say underrated because I've had some bad lithium batteries.
Same.
You know what I mean? Yeah. I think like, obviously you don't want a Chinese special in your Cybertruck. You want that one to be pretty well engineered. And I have seen, like, I run the amped batteries, and they're very well engineered. I mean, they're put together really well. They hold a charge longer. They last longer. They are just a better product. They charge quicker. Like everything about them is just better engineered and better made. And so, yeah, I think I think that you can luck up every now and then and get, the Ling Long special from Amazon and like run into something that's, good. But I think for the most part, like you're going to pay for what you get in that category, especially, and like spending an extra $150, $200 to get the better thing or a brand that's better engineered is the way to go. Because bro, we've seen a lot of lithium fires in the past few years. I mean, there was, a car burned down not too long ago around here. It wasn't a Tesla. It was something else. It was
those Rivians. Yeah.
A Rivian.
Yeah.
Yeah, a Rivian. It burned to the ground, bro. And it was crazy. I mean, like that freaking fire, they couldn't get it put out the whole nine. But like come to find out, it was just like bad engineering. The coil in the battery and how that all was put together just wasn't done the way it should have been done. And so, yeah, I think people who are taking some time to actually put one together and like put some pride into it, yeah, they're making a little something different than everybody else. So yeah, I think they're underrated.
Yeah, I think I have been very thoroughly enjoying working with Amped because it taught me the warranty is a big deal. Features are a big deal. Like I think the devil is in the details now in lithium batteries too. And it's all these things that, yes, anybody can put a bullet point on their website and say like, oh yeah, we have an 11-year warranty. We have this, we have that. Until you see it in action, like there's a difference between, a 10-year warranty on a website and the person that is actually fulfilling your warranty and getting back to you in an email and helping you with your issue. And like, those are the things that are worth the extra $20 for a battery for or something. Like all of that little stuff, heated charging, Bluetooth. I don't know how I existed without Bluetooth on my old batteries.
Oh, right. Like, I check it all the time. Yeah.
I never realized how close I was to being stuck SOL burning up. I thought I had days left on these batteries. And come to find out, I had like, 4% left as I was running up the Susquehanna River, and I'm 8 miles away from the truck. It's like now that you can keep tabs on all that stuff, I realize just how much you need some of those features that just some of these battery companies aren't doing. That's what you get if you buy like a, you said like lead time or those type of, like those type of things. Like it is, the features are what make batteries special nowadays, I think. And you're right. I mean, some of them, not all batteries are created equal. Go online and watch like some of these guys actually take them apart and test them.
Yes.
It's very eye-opening how different some of these are, or how similar some of them are too. Like some of them are the same battery packs inside different housing.
Yeah. And that's what made me like impress me with Matt at Amped is he was just like, I mean, the dude's like a battery genius. Like he knows batteries. Like he's not just a guy who owns a battery company. He's like a battery guy who owns a battery company. And like, I've always said it's not what I know, it's who I know. And like he knows everything about batteries. And so it's like when he talks about it and like actually shows it, there's enough in my brain in there that knows how things should be put together. And I'm like, oh, like you said, dude, it's like, damn, this is actually like really well put together. Like, okay, this is better. I like this. I like this. Because I mean, I love a quality product. Like I'm that weird guy who like, if I can buy Origin clothing because it's all made in the United States and sourced in the United States, I'm that guy. Like, you know what I mean? And so I love a good quality made product and I love things that work. And I think that like when we play into this system where we do buy the Lee time or Ling Long, as I like to call them, that's based off of you ever seen that TikTok where the guy gets the Ling Long tires?
No.
Oh, God, it's one of my favorite TikToks. Old boy walks out there, he goes, man, I bought some cheap shit in my day, but I ain't never bought a set of Ling Longs. And the tires on the car are called Ling Longs, so I call anything China Ling Long. But anyway, I'm sorry, rabbit hole. But yeah, like I love a good quality product and I love things that are put together right. And like I think when we do play more into that system where we continue to buy cheap Chinese made crap, the more we're going to proliferate cheap Chinese made crap. And like, I want to see good quality product. You know what I mean? And the only way we do that is to be able to like I'm the guy who goes to a thrift store and buys secondhand because I believe everything still has life left in it. Like we are such a throwaway culture now. And that's exactly where we're at with lithium batteries. Like this is getting way deeper than it should, but it's just the truth.
Yeah.
Lithium is the forefront of like truly cheap throwaway crap. And it's the one thing that doesn't need to be cheap and throwaway because like there's people literally getting their hands cut off in foreign countries because of lithium in the ground. And it's like, that's the one thing that we should definitely be taking pride in and making well because our entire society runs off of them now. And so it's like, buy the better thing. That's just, my little bit of a rabbit hole molehill to stand on.
Yeah, like, and I'm a cheapskate just like the rest of them. There are certain products that I've learned over the years that it's like, just buy once, cry once. Like, just just buy the right one the first time, because as I look at it as like just a middle of the road consumer, if I'm buying cheap batteries, I would rather buy one that's going to truly last me 10 years than, 3 that I'm going to end up paying more over time for to get me through the same 10 years. So
Exactly.
yeah, I've just learned that there are certain products I will cheap out on all day long because I am an absolute cheapskate, and I will not sit here and act like I don't buy generic everything in my life. But there are certain things, once you take the jump and you get a good version of it, you're like, oh my gosh, how did I ever go with the other ones I was using for 5 or 10 years?
Exactly.
Yeah.
Exactly.
Well, good. Well, hey, I know we're a little bit over on time from what I said we would, but before we let you go, what's on the horizon for Alex Rudd? What trips you got coming up? What should we be looking forward to in the next couple months from you?
Yeah, dude, we got a bunch of really fun stuff coming up. I'm heading up to Michigan in September. Me and Louie are doing another one of our river series YouTubes. We're going to the western side of Michigan. We're going to Whitehall, Michigan.
Okay.
Cool. Yeah, like Grand River, Muskegon River, that area. So we're doing another river series up there. So be on the lookout for that content. That's kind of the step up from what you normally see. We take the photographer, videographer with us. We go and capture this, just this event differently. And then from there, me and Lou have got some other really cool stuff planned that I don't really want to let out into the world yet, but like big trips, taking the videographer, the photographer with us and capturing something cool, different, off the wall. We're trying to look at these trips of there's a lot of people who've gone to Texas. There's a lot of people who've gone to Florida. There's a lot of people who've gone to these places. We want to take it and we want to find something different. And I think how we're going to find something different is we are kayak anglers. We like shallow water fishing. We're going to go find something sneaky and fun to get into. You know what I mean? And so, yeah, dude, the next big one is going to be Michigan. And I think it's going to be, dude, just a silly, fun trip. It's fun because I've never fished there in the fall. I've only fished there in the spring. And so I'm really interested to see the fall topwater smallmouth bite in some of these rivers and just see how crazy it is. So, yeah, that's the next big one. And then obviously just everything else. I mean, I'm always putting out YouTube videos. I'm going fishing tomorrow. We're going to go fish tomorrow, do all that. And then Louie's coming up next week, and we're going to do some striper and muskie fishing. So just always be on the lookout. Have the finger on the pulse of Alex Rudd because I'm always putting something out.
Well, go check him out. It's Alex Rudd Fishing on YouTube. It's Instagram. It's Facebook. I'm sure you got a TikTok. Anywhere that you can digitally watch something about fishing, Alex is there. So go check him out. Alex, thank you so much, man. I appreciate you.
Oh, thank you, buddy. It's my pleasure.
All right, everybody. That is the show today. Since we did have a guest today and we appreciate Alex stopping by, that means that you guys have an extra week to get in your fishing poll answers and your mailbag submissions before next week's episode. So to do that, you can head over to www.tackletalkpodcast.com. When you're there, you can click mailbag or fishing poll at the top of the page, and you can go over and fill those out to be a part of next week's episode. And after you do that, be sure to keep up with us this week on Instagram, Facebook, both at Tackle Talk Podcast. And I will see you all right back here, same time, same place, next Tuesday for another brand new episode of Tackle Talk.
Thank you for listening to the Tackle Talk Podcast. Tackle Talk is produced by Andrew Hayes. Copyright 2019. For more, please subscribe on Apple Podcasts, Spotify, or wherever you listen to podcasts.